Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line. Usually we're joined by Mike Reyes from cinemablend.com, but he's taking the week off, so the second best, a backup.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, Moose is on the line. Hey, buddy.
Wow. This is why you don't have a lot of guests on.
Nope.
Because your introductions are just lackluster.
Moose, he does voice work. Kind of. No.
He's kind of successful.
Yeah. That's what it says on your business card.
Yeah. Hey, you need some voice work done? Yeah, maybe I can do that.
Anyways, Moose is here to talk to us about movies this week to fill in for the great Mike Reyes from cinemablend.com. Sorry.
He's great. I'm meh.
Yeah, you're... You got a nice email? Anyways, let's get going. This week, of course, the big movie is the return of Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Because that's what the world needed.
Is that where you're at with this?
Yeah. Look, I love Indiana Jones, right? Like the first three are fantastic overall. The Crystal Skull one was just a hot mess. And it was that movie where we really saw the limitations of a then 75-year-old man trying to swing around on a bullwhip. Look, there's all sorts of CG and stunt people you can substitute in, but I don't know. I just don't want to see Grandpa Jones, running around chasing after an artifact, avoiding Nazis.
And that's pretty much what you're getting in this from the looks at it. If you're out there and you want to see what the plot is, or you don't want to see what the plot is, do not go to Wikipedia, as the entire plot is up there right now. You know what the last movie came out was?
For Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Crystal Skull.
Yeah, but you know what year?
I want to say 2005 or 8, somewhere in there.
It is 2008. I was actually surprised. I'm like, wow, that's more than 10 years. I thought it would be more in that window than what it is. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And what I've read kind of on the plot so far, it kind of seems like it's going down the road of, if you watch Star Trek Picard, season 1, where he kind of was in a mindset, that's kind of what it looks like. And there's a couple of things that are happening in there that I'm like, oh God, I don't know if this is going to be good or not. You thought aliens were crazy. Just wait.
Yeah, there's a thing, Grace Jones of Jefferson Airplane had a great quote. She was asked, this was years ago, why they don't tour. And this was, at the time, they were all in their 60s or something. And she said, because there's nothing more pathetic than some old person geezer up on stage trying to act like they're 25 years old again. I think that kind of applies here a little bit.
I think there's a way to do Indiana Jones. I just don't know if they will do it in that. They'll try and make it an action movie when it should be Indiana Jones essentially passing the mantle to somebody else.
Yeah.
Where he should almost be the Sean Connery character of the series at this point, with the younger hero,
Yeah, and they tried that on the last one, and nobody really
bought it.
Really was. Yeah, it was. Look, there's a lot of stank on that Crystal Skull movie. I mean, the whole plot was junk, and the CGI was garbage. But I hate to poo-poo on it. I just don't want to see Indiana Jones 85 years old.
Yeah.
If it was Indiana Jones and the sweeping of the front stoop, I might tune in for that. Where it's essentially like the grandpa and his grandson is taken over. And, I think you can have Indiana Jones without Harrison Ford, swinging around, chasing after some gold thing that's going to change the world. But look, I know I sound negative. It might be great with the aging technology. And like I said, stuntmen filling in, it might work. It might be good. So I don't know. I'll watch it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm going to go watch it. I'm not dying to see it, but I will go watch it. The critical response for it so far, like Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 67% out of 163 critics. It's kind of like right in the middle. People either kind of love this, hate it, or it's eh.
Yeah, and that's not good. Like, you either gotta, I think, have some really, like, it's got to be really good or it's got to be really bad. If you're somewhere in the middle, I think you've failed as far as continuing the Indiana Jones legacy. Like, to me, Indiana Jones is up there with like Star Wars, and for you, I imagine Star Trek, where you got to have your ducks in a row. Like, this stuff needs to be ready to go. All the best, the writing's on top. The actors are great. The effects are all ready to go.
Yeah.
And if you're doing all that and it's coming in the middle of the road, I think you kind of failed him.
Moose from Moose Voice Incorporated. I don't know what you're calling.
Moosevoice.com.
There it is. Joining me on the line to talk about movies. Did I tell you in my way that I would kill off Indiana Jones?
No.
So in my head, the perfect death for Indiana Jones would be like a post-credit scene, and I know what you're thinking already. It's like, great, a post-credit scene. But you have a movie like this where there's a bunch of action and stuff. Post-credit scene, it's zooming in and on the fireplace. There's a, big, comfy chair that, Harrison Ford's sitting in it. And he looks like he goes to sleep, right? Hear footsteps, and you'd have to do it with voice technology and all that. But you see a hand go down on his shoulder, and you just hear Sean Connery, Jr., it's time to go.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
That's how I would end Indiana Jones.
I would love to see some sort of Sean Connery, AI, whatever, incorporated into the end of Indiana Jones's life. That would be cool. That'd be nice. I think the way he should die is like he's in a plane or something, and he tries to do the inflatable rafting like in Temple of Doom, and instead of landing on a slope, cushy, snowy hill, he just lands on like a flat cement and dies.
I just had a bad thought. You know what another one? I'm sorry, I just thought of it. It's Indiana.
Enlarged prostate?
No. It's Indiana Jones lying in a hospital bed because he's now a vegetable after getting blown up in a nuclear blast in a refrigerator. He's never regained consciousness. This is all in his head.
I heard somewhere, I forget where it was, like all the punches and crap that he's taken, like body hits and falls.
Yeah,
he's got to have CTE. There's got to be some low-level brain damage going on with Indiana Jones, and I can say that because I've had my head knocked quite a few times. So
yeah, you still can't taste or smell, right?
Yeah, it's gotten a little better, but it's overall I still can't do that stuff.
Moose on the line with me right now, filling in for Mike Reyes as we talk about movies. So Indiana Jones, if you're looking for nostalgia, go see it. Whether or not you like it is kind of up in the air. Is that kind of what we're going with? Yeah,
it's like one of those things. You got to check it out, right? I remember seeing the trailer for Crystal Skull. I was like, it's Indiana Jones. All right, let's go check it out.
No,
I'm sure there'll be some disappointment walking out of the theater, but who knows, right? Maybe it'll.
I mean, we were all duped with those first two prequel movies for Star Wars, but we went and saw the third one.
Yeah. Oh, that second one sucked. Are you going third one? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Star Wars. Ugh.
Oh, God. Other movie, not a ton of other movies coming out this weekend, but there has been a bunch of interesting movie news. Let's go to the James Gunn, DC, and a brand new Superman and Lois.
Right. You sent me that, and it's you got the girl from Miss Maisel playing Lois Lane, and some guy named David Cornsweet.
Corn and Sweat, I think is how you say it.
I'm calling it Corn Sweat. This is Iowa. We can call it Corn Sweat. Okay. Thank you very much.
Why not?
I'm guessing he's British because he looks kind of uptight, and I've never heard of him. So he's the new Superman. And this is the Heath Ledger stuff all over again. You remember how Heath Ledger was cast as Joker, and everyone's like, "Come on, no." And of course, as we know now, he just knocked it out of the park. Best performance ever.
He's right there behind Jared Leto.
Yeah, just barely there.
Just edged him out a little bit. Anyway, no, I know exactly what you're saying with it. My reaction to it was more, God, we got to have another Superman to get used to now. Like, it was more kind of exhaustion from DC more than anything.
Yeah. I don't understand why they had to recast Superman. I feel like Henry Cavill, is that it?
Yeah,
he was
so.
fine. Like I bought him as Superman. He's just good. I don't know why you got to. The only thing I can think of is it's just like James Gunn and what's his name took over DC Studios. Like, it's got to have our stink on it now. So you're all gone.
Boy, and it goes into another story that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. But just DC in general, it's like, you know what, you guys, just take a couple years, figure it out. I don't need anything from you right now. I can't miss you if you never go away.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Listen, James Gunn, I think he's going to do well, but I think he's digging out of a hole and just going, hey, we're going to start this all over right now. It's like, maybe wait a little bit. I know you want to make money and all that, but boy, you just think that they got to have a good movie in them at some point.
You know what? Also, I was thinking, like, I wonder how much their problem is because of the Warner Brothers Discovery merger. I gotta imagine that's going to affect any decisions and things you want to try and do moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big merger, and a lot of they killed a lot of stuff that was already shot. You remember the was it Batwoman movie?
Yeah, the Batgirl or Batwoman, I can't remember which one, but I know
Yeah,
which one you're talking about. And they said it was
they finished.
unwatchable.
I don't know if that was it. I just know that they just canceled it. Like, but my point is that Warner Brothers Discovery now it's I think they're still trying to get all the pieces in the right place. And
Yeah.
yeah, James Gunn is good and probably knows his stuff, but I gotta imagine that whole thing is not how, like, DC was already kind of in a S show before that whole merger, and I don't know, maybe they'll turn it around. I just I'm up for new stuff. This new Superman, I'm sure it'll be fine. They did a bunch of tests according to this article you sent me.
Yeah.
The people who know what they're doing in casting probably saw something in this guy, like, yeah, that's our new
Yeah,
Superman.
the casting I got no issue with. I think it would have been more of a if they went with someone that you're like, what? Like, all of a sudden they're saying Steve Buscemi's going to be the next Superman. I think I would have had more reaction.
I mean, that would be an inspired choice. Him and his rock biter teeth saving Lois from Lex Luthor.
I was going to say, can you imagine how awkward the makeout scene would be?
Love me some Buscemi. Love Buscemi.
Lois, oh God, hold on.
I think you bring Nicolas Cage in. I mean, he did the whole costume fitting for Tim Burton back in the day. There's that whole documentary on that.
Yeah. And he was a part of. He actually got the cameo where he fought the big spider in the Flash.
Yeah. Bring him back. Let him have the mantle.
I can't take him serious as Superman.
Yeah.
I think it's the wackiness, especially after seeing, like, what was the one he did with Pedro Pascal? Massive Weight of Ego or whatever the hell that movie. It's great. Don't get me wrong. I love that movie. But after something like that, like, I don't know if I can take Nicolas Cage serious as Superman.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said. There's like a bizarro comedy Superman movie that Nicolas Cage would be perfect for. I don't know if he's probably not going to be your main Superman, but I don't know. He's so interesting to watch. Like, he's never boring in anything. Have you seen Pig, by the way?
No, I have not.
You got to watch that, where he's like a chef and somebody steals his truffle sniffing pig and he goes on a quest to get it.
Moose on the line with me right now, joining me as we talk about movies this week. Mike taking the week off. One of the other big stories that kind of plays into the DC stuff is Kevin Smith has been in the news the last week or so, and now there's some kind of blowback, like going back and forth whether this actually happened or not. But the short of it is, Kevin Smith said that he was talking to somebody, and they said depending on how The Flash did at the box office, they would probably go on to use Michael Keaton and make a Batman Beyond movie as him as an older Bruce Wayne. After how Flash did, we're not getting that movie. But now we've got different people coming out saying, no, he never talked about it. Kevin Smith is fighting back with people. Whether or not it actually happened or not, I'd love to see Michael Keaton in that role. I think that'd be awesome.
Look, Kevin Smith loves to hear himself talk.
Yes.
And I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's talking about, because the man's made movies for a while. He has connections. I get it. But I got to imagine. I haven't seen The Flash, by the way, full disclosure. But
I haven't. I've seen enough of it on TikTok that I'm good.
I know that Michael Keaton is just getting, like, the love is there for Michael Keaton returning as Batman. Even he's like enjoying doing it again.
Yeah.
Between that, the buzz, and the fact that these studios do these test screenings where they have people literally, say, I like this, I don't like this, with some sort of like buzzer device. And if that device pops in the favorable for every time Michael Keaton's on, the studio will factor that in to any decisions. You know what I mean? Like, you and I were talking about The Flash the other day. I think there's, and again, I haven't seen The Flash, but my guess is that I think people are kind of burned out on the multiverse stuff. I think it's just kind of, it's played out. You said it's like the new zombie thing, right? Like, everybody's doing the multiverse. I think people are done with that.
Well, the other part about that equation is if you go the multiverse route or multiverse way, you had a movie the weekend before The Flash came out that did it as well as anybody could possibly do it with Spider-Man
movie?
Across Spider-Verse.
Oh,
So then you're coming off that, so now you're a weak second place to that. It just, I don't know, but yeah,
well, and I'm glad you brought that up because the audience for The Flash, that's the same audience as Spider-Man Across the Multiverse, or sorry, I forget the name. But they just saw something like that a week before. I don't know.
yeah,
Are they going to go the next week to the Flash thing? I mean, yeah, some will, but I don't know. To me, I think maybe the movie suffered because I've seen okay reviews for it. It's by all accounts a good, decent movie. Maybe the Flash's biggest problem is they just released it at the wrong time. You know?
maybe. That could be, well, I mean, you get a lot of that kind of out there. A lot of movies have suffered with that,
And also, I think back to the Michael Keaton Batman Beyond. Look, if the studio thinks they're going to make a crap ton of money with that movie, they're going to make it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. That's all that really matters. Like I said, if the testing was good and the buzz is good with Michael Keaton, somebody will put together a spec script and they'll get some a green light.
Oh, there has
they
to
think
be
they're gonna
one
make
out
money.
there already for that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think
so.
about it, there's got to be someone has a script on their desk right now, buried under about 15 other scripts of Michael Keaton being an older Bruce Wayne in the Batman Beyond series.
Yeah, do it. And if there's any potential for profitability, that will get greenlit.
Absolutely. Moose on the line with me right now as we talk about more movies. Kind of what I'm going to throw at you last second and kind of out there, but I've just been seeing more buzz about this go up, and it's more about a TV show, but we may be seeing another motion of fans saving a TV show. Have you seen anything about Star Trek Prodigy?
Star Trek Prodigy?
Okay, that answers that question.
That's a show? Is that a show?
No, it's like a kid's show. On
is it animated?
Yeah, it's an animated Star Trek show that's on Paramount Plus. You're coming off of Picard season 3, which had a huge final season. You have Strange New Worlds going on, and kind of in the middle of there, you also have Lower Decks, which I happen to think is the best Star Trek out there right now. But then you also had the kids show, which is Star Trek Prodigy, and you're seeing millions of people come forward and trying to save this show as it was canceled and dropped by Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Are we living in that world now where that's going to happen more often?
Yeah, I mean, it happened with
the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, that movie, sure. And there was another show that fans were up in arms about, and like I want to say Hulu saved it or Netflix saved it for a season or two.
Oh,
that's the world we're living in, huh?
Oh, I just thought of one other one that's actually getting saved and brought back again is, and I don't know if this is a fans thing or more of a corporate thing, but I saw the first trailer for the next season of Futurama.
Oh, yeah. Well, that has some controversy all its own because apparently they're not using the original voice actors.
It sounded like them in the trailer.
Well, I mean, we could all do a bender, bite my shiny ass. I mean, I know they hired people to replace them, so we'll see. I don't know, we'll see. But the fans can quote save a show, but again, it always boils down to is it going to make money? That's ultimately what's going to work. Like I think that they factor in if there's a big change.org to save Futurama, the networks will factor that in, but ultimately it's going to boil it down to, well, yeah, we can revive it, but how can we cut 20%, so we can squeeze out a profit here.
Well, there's a lot of that with Star Trek in general right now because there was a big fan movement right after Star Trek Picard wrapped up to get the next show greenlit, which they're calling it Star Trek Legacy. But it would be some of the folks from the last season of Picard, doing their own show. I just think it's interesting. It's like, for some of these executives and stuff, it's like, how did you miss this many people liking this?
Yeah. Also, a lot of times shows, maybe they don't come out at the right time. The timing's not right. There's a couple instances of that. I of course, can't think of specific examples, but I know there's been shows that like Flash.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Came out the week after another multiverse movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but like TV shows, there's TV shows specifically that came out, ahead of their time. But, if that show premiered now, it'd be a huge hit. But,
yeah. Or, well, there's that conversation about timing is everything, and it was Joe Rogan talking to Robert Downey Jr. about Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
About whether or not you could do it now.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't
So
know. You couldn't do Blazing Saddles now. I know that.
no, you really couldn't. But it's just kind of an interesting world where you have some of this stuff get canceled, maybe not saved, like the Batwoman, Batgirl movie we were talking about earlier.
Look, it's a different world than when it was just like Nielsen boxes in people's homes or ticket sales. They can track. When a TV show has clips of their show on YouTube, they can track that. Nielsen and the rating
Yeah,
systems, that factors in. So my point on that is like people watching this stuff in the non-usual media, ways like TV or movie theater, it's important and it does make a difference. And that includes people tweeting about it and, signing change.org. It can, I think, factor in. It's not the be all end all.
yeah.
Like if a movie studio gets 10 million signatures to relaunch this movie, they're going to be like, well, okay, how much is that going to cost? Okay, and what's our profit? Oh, really? No, you
Nah.
know,
Kind of like your
yeah.
business card.
Hey, I can hear you, right?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Hey, make sure you go check out the Married with Chandler's podcast.
I was getting there because I actually want to ask you about a couple shows,
Oh, okay.
but give me a minute. God, we're not past our 45 minutes of Zoom time yet. So
This is why radio is failing.
as we do get towards the end of this, and you were speaking about the voice stuff, did you see the thing about Solar Opposites and that Justin Roiland from that and Rick and Morty?
Yes, that he's
How they're
apparently
replacing him?
He's apparently I don't know how they're replacing him. How are they replacing him?
So he's the guy who had a whole bunch of charges against him or something. It came up. It was all basically dropped, but Hulu and, what was the other one? Is it Cartoon Network or Cartoon Planet? Adult Swim decided just not to bring him back. So Solar Opposites, which is basically, it's Rick and Morty without Rick and Morty, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, he was the basically doing the Rick Sanchez voice on an alien character in that. He was one of the main people, and basically he gets shot in the throat, and they shoot like a voice box fixer ray at him, but it comes back and it's like a complete. It's not even close. Like how like if you're gonna redo Optimus Prime, you try and find someone that kind of sounds like Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
You know what Rick Sanchez sounds like, right?
I think so.
Now just picture or listen in your head for just a guy with a huge, huge English accent. Like it's not even in the ballpark, and they're like, "Oh, that's not right," and they go to fix it, and the one guy goes, "No, stop. I like this." So
Solar Opposite.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the way to best describe it. Like it's good. Like if you're into Rick and Morty, you'll probably find some humor in it, but it's like, ooh, wow. Wow, Hulu. Okay.
Full disclosure, I have not watched one episode of Rick and Morty.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really
I'm
good.
Jody and I are like the only two people left who have not.
Imagine if Christopher Lloyd was drunk the entire time during Back to the Future.
Marty!
It's very, very good. Oh, there it is. Running out of time. Upgrade now. Got the Zoom thing. All
There's
right.
some people listening who are like, I wish Zoom had a 5-minute limit.
Yeah, exactly right. As we do get towards the end of this, we'll have all your links at the bottom of the page. What's going on with Married with Channels right now?
We just fired back up new episodes. We had like a month where we weren't recording because we were working on our front stoop area in the house.
Oh, yeah?
And that just took like all sorts of free time and energy.
Did you say you could get it done over a weekend?
No, shut up. I knew it. I should have known you were going to say that. Trust me, that was in the back of our minds the whole time. But we were not we were not delusional in the time frame. But
it's an old morning show story.
Yeah. Yeah, ask your parents. But yeah, we finally got that done and we're recording again, and we're about to put out a new episode here probably this week.
What are you guys watching right now?
We are watching oh man, we just finished.
Fantastic.
Platonic on Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
We just started Secret Invasion. Have you watched that?
No, we're saving up some episodes of that. We were watching. Have you watched The Night Agent?
No, I know you were talking about that. You said that was pretty good.
We just came off The Night Agent, The Diplomat. which for Netflix to have a couple like that's their niche. Like they don't do superhero shows very well. They kind of do the horror stuff really well. They really hit the espionage, like government conspiracy thing out of the park.
Between like House of Cards and this.
Yeah. And then the other one we just finished was The Bear, season 1.
We started that. We're about 3-4 episodes into that. I don't know if we've talked about it on our podcast, which is Married with Channels.
Yes.
But it's interesting. It's different, and I'm not saying I don't like it. It just we haven't seen enough to really.
Okay. Do you have a
There's a
schedule?
good show on Netflix called Beef. You should check out Beef.
What is that about?
It's a road rage incident that kind of escalates and affects 2 people's lives.
I yelled at a lady in the drive-thru the other day. You would have been proud.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
She rolled down, or she had her window down. I rolled it down and I go, apparently you don't know how a line works.
Nice.
And
it could be like, most people are like, come on, or hurry up. B-sox like, apparently you don't know how a line works.
And my son Jace was in the car too, so he got the You know what her response was?
Oh, what?
Apparently not.
Oh, nice. Well, she kind of admitted to it, right?
Yeah, it was one of those drive-thrus where it's split because of the parking lot. So they have like a line on one side so you don't block traffic. She just blew past everybody, and I honked at her, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jace is like, get her, Daddy, get her.
No, his face was buried in the phone on YouTube watching stupid shorts about people playing video games or farting or something.
YouTube, keeping kids occupied since 2011.
Yep. So, all right. Well, we'll leave it there for this week. We'll have all Moose's details at the bottom of the page. He talks and stuff for a living and the podcast thing and all that.
Married with Channels. Go to moosevoice.com if you need something voiced for your company or.
Like if I gave you like $20, could you voice me something? Like, what would that get me?
It would get you this. Come to B-sox's, and that's it.
Not even the full voicemail message.
Nope.
Hi, this is
Thanks for calling. Yeah.
There you go. So
you've reached.
Awesome. All right, dude. Well, hey, thank you so much for filling in for Mike this week. I really appreciate it, and I had fun with you.
Yes, and I love you, and this is always a pleasure. And KGGO rocks, man.
I love you.
I love you.
Mr. Musk.
Smell my farts.